MetsMusings is an unofficial, independent podcast covering New York's National League Baseball team. It is not affiliated in any way with Major League Baseball or the New York Mets.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
And hello and welcome to another edition of Mets Musings number 405, and it's the July 4th. Yay! July 4th edition, though we're missing a traditional July 4th ball game. Used to be, in my day, a doubleheader. Now it's just a single game if they play, but nobody going to be playing. They're going to be in summer camp. Yes. Wonder if they get to go to the lake. Yay! July the 4th, still celebrating it here. We're not going to let the anarchists or the mob rule change our mind. Yay! We're celebrating July 4th with hot dogs, hamburgers, and French fries and beans and a couple of cold adult beverages as we ring in the new year. And hello to everybody out there. Yes, we have some Met news. Yes, we're going to have some baseball, as ridiculous as it may seem. A 60-game ridiculous season. One of the dumber things I've ever heard of. And we'll get to even more things that are dumber than that. But a 60-game season we're going to have. Yay! An exhibition season. Oh, no, it counts? Oh, how can it count? 60 games. How are you going to have a count? I mean, you lose 5 in a row, you're out of the race already. Yes, they're going to count it, folks. They're going to count the whole kit and caboodle of the 60 games if they get to play. And that is a big if. And you want to know why it's a big if? Because guys are opting out already. Yes, Jordan Zimmerman is opting out. Joe Ross of the Nationals is opting out. Zimmerman also with the Nationals. Ian Desmond of the Rockies opting out for health reasons, though he has other reasons. The other guys say health reasons. They don't want to take a risk. And look, they can do that if they want to. A couple other players opting out. And they can do that if they wish. But Major League Baseball really, this is ridiculous at this point. If you're going to have 10, 15% of people opting out, it's got a week in Washington right there. They're losing your key relief pitcher and their part-time first baseman. But Zimmerman's been there from the beginning of the Nationals, just about one of their earliest draft picks, and he's an inspiration, and he's not going to be there. He's not going to play. So, I mean, that's got to hurt the team somewhat. And if you lose other guys, it was 3 Colorado guys that got the COVID-19. And Brodie Van Wagenen, the Mets general manager, has announced that the Mets have had one player to get COVID-19, and he is recovering. He cannot say who it is. We can speculate. A lot of people are thinking it's Cespedes, or the way Lowry's been going, it could be him. We know it's not Moises Alou because he's no longer with the club. If he was with the Mets, it would be odds on money that it was Moises, but it's not Moises Alou, fans. It is, we don't know who the heck it is. But, that's one guy. Like I said, Colorado has 3. Other teams have a couple of guys. Phillies had like 5 people out, I think. Don't know if they were all players. This thing could spread through a whole team and wipe out a whole team. So is it going to be a fair 60-game season? I call it an exhibition season. That's about all it's going to be. And let's face it, the only reason they're doing it is to get the playoff money. That's it. That's the only reason. They couldn't care less about anything else but getting that playoff money, the TV money for the playoffs. That's why they're going through this crazy exercise of a baseball season. Now I read that the NBA, who's also trying to start up, they may start up without the the New York Nets or the Brooklyn Nets, whatever their name is this week. How are you going to play a season without a team? You going to eliminate a whole team? I don't know. This whole COVID-19 thing is crazy. All the sports, once they cancel it, they should have stayed canceled. And just let the season go. Just let it, skip it. That would have been the most prudent thing, the most intelligent thing to do. They're all worried the NFL is going to play. I would skip it too for the NFL if I were them. Because we don't know where we're going to be when they start spring camp or their summer camp with this thing. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So it's crazy. I'll believe it when I see it that they're going to play the games. And again, as I said last week, they put a fence around Citi Field, and most people think it's to keep out, of course, the fans from trying to get too close to get autographs as players come and go. I had wondered on one particular site whether it was put there to keep out any unruly protesters or mobs that may come. And I was told by people that were visited around Citi Field that it's too flimsy for something like that. So it's mainly to keep the fans away from getting autographs. But it's got to be a deterrent, too, from a mob rushing into the stadium and trying to disrupt things. And you know what? I still think that's something you have to consider. Especially now, they just cut the police budget in New York City by $1 billion. They've got less policemen. They've got this organized occupation city hall or whatever they're calling it. This mishmash of millennials or whatever that should be working at a job. And instead are just camping out on the dole of everybody else that gives them money and supports them. And meantime, they're yelling and screaming at people. And I got to tell you, you watch enough news and you watch some of the interviews with these people, they're stupid. They're some of the stupidest people I ever saw in my life. They got no idea why they're there. They're all just reading the bullet points that they've been brainwashed with since, I guess, high school or whatever. And they have no clue what the heck they're doing there. I mean, I saw a guy yesterday with a tutu on dancing in front of the cops and cursing at the cops and stuff. And I said, this is just lunacy. Let's get some water cannons in there and break that up there at City Hall. But we don't want to see that at Citi Field or at Yankee Stadium. Okay, maybe we don't care about Yankee Stadium, but we definitely don't want to see it at Citi Field. So, but they're going to meet as we record this on July the 2nd. They're going to be meeting tomorrow. It's going to be the first day that they're supposed to be there. So we'll see what happens from there. That's all we can hope for. And let's say a prayer that everything goes well and that the players are safe and they remain safe, and COVID-19 stays away from Citi Field. All right, let's take a quick break and be back. We've actually got some Met news for you. Yes, we do. And I'll have that right after this.
Hey, baseball fans and book fans as well. This is Frank Nappi, author of the Legend of Mickey Tussler series, inviting all of you to learn more about my protagonist, Mickey Tussler, an incredible pitching prodigy who has autism. Follow Mickey's journey as he captures the hearts of fans everywhere with his blazing fastball and indomitable spirit. Please visit Amazon or www.franknappy.com for more information.
Hi, this is the world-famous Mr. Brewtown of BrewtownSports.podomatic.com. You know, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, Brewtown Sports. You can also listen to the show at Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, and iTunes.com. And we've got the new one. It's called BrewtownRadio.weebly.com, but the one that I'm most proud of being on is BaseballPodcast.net. It is the home of great baseball talk shows. Check it out, my show and all kinds of other programs all about Major League Baseball. So check it out. That's baseballpodcast.net, the home for great baseball talk shows.
516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show, and drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail question, anything at all. Call that number 516-619-6341, or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe, and you can leave a voicemail right through your computer through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings, and the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1. And if you'd like to help out the show, check out our Patreon page. Check out the campaign at patreon.com/MetsMusings. Hey, and an update, we are now also on Parler, and I don't know much about it. I've just started on that, but it's Gary Mack is the name on Parler. So if you want to go check us out, if you're on Parler, go check that out. I don't know if you can have pages and stuff. I have to figure all of that out as I get into it more. But something new, another social media site, Parler. So we'll see what that's all about. All right, in the news, the Mets have signed all of their draft picks, all 6 of them, and now they figure out where the heck are they going to play. The Mets have also named their 60-man pool. I don't think they've gotten all 60 yet, and they've signed a bunch of guys. I even lost track here, but the biggest name that they signed, and probably for depth, though he could make the Major League squad, is Melky Cabrera, the milkman, who had some steroid issues a couple of years back. He is now a New York Met. They've signed a couple of relief pitchers, so they're filling out their 60-man pool that they can have for the upcoming season. That will change as they go along. It gets less and less. And no announcement where the what essentially would be, I guess, the minor league camp or whatever you want to call it, the taxi squad, where they're going to be playing. Speculation, it could be in Brooklyn at the Cyclones MCU Park, or it could be somewhere else. Who knows? But minor league baseball has announced that they are canceling the season. So there's definitely no minor league baseball this year. And with the way things are going, this could be the end of a certain amount of teams. They either could go under, or the contract is over with Major League Baseball, so we'll have to see how that works out over this coming winter. But essentially, there's no minor league baseball this season at all, and that could mean the end of it. It definitely looks like it's the end of the New York Penn League, which means the Staten Island Yankees are a team without a country right now, or a franchise, however you want to say it. Same thing with probably, or perhaps with the Binghamton, what are they? The Rumble Ponies, as the Cyclones, in one of the original plans, was to take over the Double A banner of the New York Mets, and some of the other teams that did very well in the New York Penn League are also going to be gone. Hudson Valley would move on to an A League, I believe, and Hudson Valley, a very successful team, upstate, a little bit upstate New York. So it's going to be a mishmash, and our buddy Rob Manfred's had a lot to do with it. And speaking of Rob Manfred, he came out today and said that they had no intention of playing more than 60 games, no matter how the negotiations went. Now, if that was your intention, why would you put a proposal out for 78 games? What happens if the players accepted that? Would you tell them, no, we're not going to accept back our own proposal? And quite frankly, with a CBA coming up in a year, why would you admit to it? Why would you say we're only going to take 60 games no matter what? What, are you stupid? You don't negotiate that way. You don't come out afterwards and say, we were only going to play 60 games. We didn't care what the negotiations said. So again, I say, what would you have done? The owners made a proposal for, 80 games and then 78 games or something like that. What happens if the players would have approved that? Or did they build that in such a way that they knew the players weren't going to take it? Which is even sicker. Because this means this whole thing dragged out for nothing. For nothing. It almost looks as the owners just wanted to play a handful of games so they could play the playoffs and get the money. That's it. If so, then they should have no problem cutting the regular season down. Cut the games then. Play a 154-game season then. I mean, that was this came out today, one of the stupidest things I ever heard anybody in a position to negotiate to say that they were only going to take 60 no matter what. Afterwards, it's ridiculous, especially when you've got another major negotiation coming up in a year or even less. Manfred has got to go. He's a moron. He really is a moron. He's killing the game of baseball. And the owners need to see that and get rid of him. Because you know what? He's not only going to not make the money, he's going to make them go broke. And if they continue to back him, then they deserve to go broke. This guy's an idiot, and he has no connection to the game. He has no love of the game. He has no passion for the game. You know, you can knock Bud Selig all you want, but Bud Selig had a passion for the game of baseball. You could hear it when he spoke. You could see it in his actions. This guy has nothing. This guy is like dead inside. He's an empty suit. He's a bean counter. There's no passion there. Let's get rid of him. Let's get somebody in there that's got a love and a passion for this game. That's what we need. All right, let's get back to the New York Mets. 7 groups have been pre-approved to buy the Mets from the Wilpons. That's good news. According to Charlie Gasparino of Fox Business News, they have till July the 9th to put, or people have till July 9th to put bids in. The 7 have been pre-approved by the other owners. They include A-Rod and J-Lo. I'm all confused now. So let's look at the article here. And Stevie Cohen is interested in again. Please let Cohen be the guy. I think he'd be the best guy. He's got the most amount of money. He was deep in negotiations with the team. He's going to try to get it at a bargain, though, now. And they're not going to go for that. In addition to Cohen, other interested parties include the group led by Mike Rapoli, A-Rod, and J-Lo, and the one fronted by Josh Harris and David Blitzer. Like I said, 7 groups interested in purchasing Mets had been pre-approved by the MLB as qualified bidders. So we also have billionaire brothers David and Simon Rubin have reportedly, but it's not for sure, but they've been reportedly been interested, though they might be more interested in the real estate than the actual team. Mets COO Jeff Wilpon gave an update on June 11th at a speech. The team will have some kind of transaction. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be, how it's going to look. That does not sound good to me. But we're working towards a transaction. Why do they keep calling it a transaction? Why not a transfer of ownership? And there's 4 or 5 suitors that are out there to do something with, and a bunch of philanthropic planning and family planning that my dad and my uncle want to do, and it's totally fine. And when we have something to truly announce, we'll tell you about it. Not going to play the speculation game. We'll get into any kind of competition with Page 6 or Variety magazine. Now, they say the original deal with Cohen that fell apart did not fall apart because of the 5-year, what do you want to call it, that they would still, a precondition that they would have control of the team. There will be no preconditions is that the team will turn over once the sale has been complete. So it looks like it's going to happen. They want to complete it by the end of the year. July the 9th, everybody's got to have their bids in. So it looks like something's going to happen. I believe something will happen. For whatever reason, they seem to want to get rid of the team and get rid of it now. One reason could be the elections. You don't know. Tax brackets could change if Trump is not elected. Biden said he was going to triple the taxes on everybody, and especially the rich, and do away with capital gains. So maybe they figure it's time to sell the team now in case that happens, and they will lose tax advantages, I guess, and they have to pay an enormous amount. They'd lose a lot of money due to taxes. So they want to do this now and get it over with. One thing to consider, I don't know, it could be, it could not be, but it kind of makes sense in a way. You want to make it by the end of this year, so it's on this year's taxes and not next year, when there could be a change in the White House and things could be a lot different. All right, let's grab another break and be back right after this.
Looking for great Cardinals talk? Then check out Conversations with C70. My name's Daniel Shoptaw, and I talk with some of the great bloggers on the internet today about their teams. It always comes back to the Cardinals. Find the latest episode on my website, www.cardinal70.com, or at baseballpodcast.net.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com, along with MetsMusings and other great baseball podcasts.
With all the Mets news, it is the news from around the world and around the corner. Here's Gary Mack.
Hi, this is Ron Darling with SNY TV. You know me from covering the Mets, and I hope you get a chance to listen to Mets Musings with Gary Mack. I had a great time. I hope you do too.
Hi, I'm Ron Swoboda of the 69 New York Mets, and you're listening to Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
All right, and we're back, and one more bit of news that, or just an opinion piece, if you will. Yesterday was July 1st, and a lot of people love to put pictures of Bobby Bonilla up and say Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. You know what? Give it a rest. Give it a rest already. The deal's old. It was a good deal at the time to make the payoffs last out. So they had money to spend. They got Hampton. When Hampton left, they got a draft pick who turned out to be David Wright. So it all worked out. So he gets paid until whenever, 2035 or whatever. So does Bruce Sutter, who's getting paid since 1985. He's still getting paid by the Cardinals. And there's a bunch of guys that took this kind of payout. It was a smart thing to do. So please, next year, can we forget about it? It's over. It's done with. Next year we'll have new owners. They won't have anything to do with Bobby Bonilla. Forget about it. It's tiresome already. We know they're paying him. We know. Who cares? I mean, you've got to look back at the whole economics of the thing. And as I said, it paid off. It was a good deal at the time. They were able to free up money to sign somebody else. That helped them. So enough of this. That's just the way life is sometimes. You do pay off guys over a long term because they'll take it. Hey, I don't blame him. He's getting $1 million or whatever plus every year. He got himself set for his lifetime. You know, a lot of these guys retire, and some of them didn't make the real big money. He had made some real big money for his time. But, you know, then they got no income coming in, and if they don't have anything to do, they're hurting. He got his life set right there. So did Bruce Sutter. There's a couple other guys I can't remember. I saw it yesterday who they were. So, you know, let's give it a rest. It's over. It's done with. They did it. It worked out. It's not such a bad thing. So next July 1st, let's just celebrate it as July 1st. Hopefully to a baseball. And forget that it's Bobby Bonilla Day. And that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you for listening. Excuse me. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Apple, whatever it is now, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to the podcast. It helps me to grow the show and expand to more listeners. Being that we may have baseball, just remember until next time, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'll see you next time on another edition of Mets Music.